know how much you've inspired me. Your ambition, your confidence, your drive, it has inspired me.
How I got the funding of 1 million rand, I was attending an expo and I met.
Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Gwanda Nyazeka. If it's your first time here, we are talking about everything entrepreneurship, financial education, entrepreneurship, as well as running your own business. Please consider subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate the support that you're giving me, guys. As you know, we are now above 1,200 subscribers and we are growing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support that you're giving me. So today, I'm not alone. I'm going to introduce this important person. I feel very special to be sitting with her now. Yes. She's a business owner. Yes, I'm really happy to be finally meeting with her. So I'm just gonna tell you how we met. So it was in a stock fair in Bizo that was taking place here in Midrand. It was in 2019, yes. So I came here, she was a speaker talking about her businesses and the concept of franchise. I was so inspired and motivated by everything that she said that I invited her on Facebook and the conversation started from there. Yeah, and now I'm happy to be finally seated next to her and we're going to have a conversation. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a brief background about her, about what she's doing. Yeah, I'm just gonna read from what I just prepared. So she's an award-winning entrepreneur. She's the founder and CEO of the Township Economic Transformation ecosystem. She's the author of How I Started My Business with 1 million from the bank. She's a multi-franchise owner. She's going to tell us about everything that I will mention here. She's also a business mentor specializing in township businesses. She's also an NDP youth ambassador. She's also a UJ research associate. And she's also one of 100 ambassadors of Masisulu Women of Fortitude. And she's also, I think this is very important, she's a mother of 2. Yes. So in starting our conversation, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself. Tell us who is Miss Bathabile Moreki. Yes, what do you do, and all of that. Thanks.
Thank you, Kwanda, and greetings to the viewers. So Bathabile Moreki is born in the homelands of Eastern Free State in Kwaqo Putedichaba, and I came to Johannesburg back in the 1990s to further my high school education, and I also studied here for my varsity up until I started my couple of jobs in corporate, and the last job was in government. But for the past 7 years, I've been a full-time entrepreneur.
Yes.
On top of that, I still hustle. You know, we do different things.
Yes. Yes.
So I run my own businesses, like the one that you are interviewing from here.
Yes.
So it's one of the franchises that I own, and I also have a mentorship company where I help small businesses to access funding, access the market, and also on compliance and capacity building.
Okay.
Yeah, so my main focus is to help in small businesses based all where the owners are from the townships across the country.
Okay, okay. That's great, that's great. I've already learned a number of things from what you just said now. That's interesting. And I just want to move to when you started. You said that you started your entrepreneurship journey 7 years ago. So I just want to ask you, how did it start? Was it easy when you started? Because I know a number of people want to start businesses, but they would think about maybe the challenges that you will face along the way. So for you, was it easy when you started? And what's that one thing that you started doing in entrepreneurship?
Okay, yes. I started formally and full-time 7 years ago, but even when I was still at school and also in corporate, I had a couple of side hustles.
Yes.
So I've sold beddings, so I'm happy to see your kilo here.
Yes.
So I've sold some beddings, you know, I will buy at some supplier and resell them. You know, I sold holiday vouchers. So I've been always selling something.
Yes,
You know, I've
yes.
sold some perfumes. When I was at UJ, we had a marketing course. So now we were given a special learning to
Yes.
resell some of the network marketing brands
Yes, yes.
for our experiential learning. So I've always loved to sell, but as you know, with our background, after going to school, we're encouraged to go and find a job.
Yes.
So I think my entrepreneurship journey was just cut short there.
Yes,
But
yes.
when I was still in government, and I still love to sell. I still love to own a business. You know, I was inspired by different women in business and all of those activities. So I decided, you know what, let me take this entrepreneurship full time.
Yes.
You know, because I realized, you know what, doing it part time, sometimes we lose opportunities because I love to attend those courses, conferences where they educate us.
That's
but
true.
I couldn't
Yes.
do that because I was
Yes.
full-time
You're fully
employed.
employed.
Up until I saw the opportunity through National Empowerment Fund.
Yes.
This familiar called the NEF, saying they can fund women who wants to go into business. And they were talking about franchising.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, here's a franchise, here's a funding from NEF, let me take that opportunity. So my first formal business was in franchising.
Okay, that's great. That's great. You are mentioning that you are selling, and I can attest to that. I know that you sell. You know, when I wake up every day, I know that I will see Ms. Bathabile Moreki selling something on Facebook, which is interesting. You also mentioned in your book that even during your primary school days, you used to sell the peanuts, you know. And you also mentioned that you didn't like it because you sort of perceived it as you perceived as a reflection of poverty,
True.
you know. So I want to ask you, why is it important to sell? Why is it so important to sell? Because I know you are always selling, from your eucalyptus oil to Unkalelo products to PPEs. Why is it so important to sell?
It's not true. I think, you know, growing up, the lack of knowledge will make you perceive other things in a wrong way.
Yes.
True,
Yes.
I was very embarrassed when my grandfather made us sell peanuts, you know, at school, because that's how I thought selling is associated with being, already people can see that you are poor now, you are depending on those small monies of selling peanuts. Because
Yes.
remember, selling peanuts back then was like, I think 10 cents.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was, to be honest, very, you know, embarrassing. Up until I got to be exposed to say, you know what, all these big companies who are making a lot of money, they are selling. They are
That's
selling
true.
from
That's
churches,
true.
they are selling from matches, even needles. Have you seen a needle? How small it is?
Yes,
The
yes.
owners behind it, a needle is a multi-billion rand company. So I think that exposure of education, and I'm glad even on social media, we meet people like yourself who now, you know, bring this content to us. And I'm hoping that the younger generation can get inspired and actually see the other aspect of life, because schools only teach us about get to school, graduate, go find a job.
Yes, and
But
then
now we
what?
are not being taught to say, even in business, we can make money. And the minute I started now selling, to be honest, at school, I was, we only had my mother who was working by then.
Yes.
So my mother could only afford to send me 500 rand. And if you're at risk, you know, I was staying at school. You need grocery, you need toilet, you need to print copies, go and do assignments. 500 was not enough.
Yes.
But the minute I started now selling, I realized I had enough money to survive. There was even the point where I couldn't ask my mother money if she couldn't send me.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, so that opened my eyes. That's one thing that made me now want to sell more. I saw that through selling, to be honest, you cannot be poor if you are selling.
That's true.
Even if you still have a job, but selling really opens up more opportunities for you. You meet people, you are learning in the process.
Yes.
So that's how I got to understand. So now selling is not associated with
Reflection.
poverty.
Yes,
No.
yes. That's
I got
true.
wrong information at first.
That's true. That's true. I like that. I like that. I always say that. I remember this other time I was also selling at Reyes. I was selling chocolates. So there was these guys trying to make fun of what I was
Yeah.
doing. You know, not understanding what am I trying to do
achieve.
here.
True.
You know, because when you are selling, you also get to that point where you're not going to ask money from your parents. You can now buy yourself sunlight. You can now buy yourself cosmetics and everything. So it really gives you that opportunity to actually afford something without bothering someone else. You know, I really like your response there. And then the next question that I'm going to ask you, What can you say to someone who says that no, business is not my thing, or selling is not my thing, I can't do it?
You know, I'm just gonna tell people to say, you know what, business is like selling, or business is like breathing. There's nobody that can say I can't sell.
Yes.
You know, there are other people who are born with the skill.
Yes.
You know, they are talented, they can sell. But there are other people like us who can be taught.
Yes.
You know, same applies to school. Every child must go to, you know, a grade, what's it in ECD.
Yes.
From
yes,
ECD
exactly.
now you're going to primary.
Yes,
you know, so
primary.
business is exactly like that. Yes, we understand that we are not all the same, but give yourself the opportunity, because even now we see that times are hard, even when you've got a job, but the salary
That's
that we
true.
earn, they
It's
are
not
hardly enough.
Yes.
So now what can you do? So the other option that is now better and lucrative is through selling.
That's
You know, find a product that resonates with your beliefs, resonates with your interests, the one that you can maybe have an interest or passion. But sometimes we sell looking into opportunities to say what is now being sold, what is in demand, and then do that, because we will always be depressed in different jobs that we do. So it's not really about not being your thing.
Yes.
Take it as a tool to end your poverty, because everybody, we've got different challenges. You know, some of us, we are breadwinners from our homes. You know, some of us, you want to achieve certain things. Sometimes other people want to further their studies,
studies,
but now
yes.
you don't have funds to further your
Yes.
studies. So now take a selling to say, you know what, this is life.
Yes.
You know, I always say, Bupelo to say,
That's
as in, you know,
true.
sale is life, which is true, because every day we are buying something.
That's
So
true.
don't only be a buyer,
A buyer.
also
You can
add
also
an
be a
element of
seller.
selling.
Yes. Yes. And actually sell these things that you buy from other people.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great. And then in chapter 3 of your book, you mentioned that research is important when you're about to start any type of business. But I also sometimes tell people that you shouldn't focus more on research, because when you spend much time researching, you end up not starting, because when you're doing that research, you're going to find a number of things that you're going to think that they are going to be the challenges that are going to stop you from starting. So why do you think the research is important when you're about to start?
For me, I always say, you know what, knowledge is power. That's what we were taught.
Yes.
But these days we've realized applied knowledge is even more powerful.
Great.
So it's good that you research so that you have an idea. But as you're saying, don't research too long.
Yes.
You know, a research can take you a week, can take you 2 weeks, can take you 3 months. But don't make it researching for 5 years, because
Yes.
now if you don't apply that research that now you've gained, the knowledge that you've gained, now it's gonna be useless.
That's true.
You know, so go out there and research so that at least you have an idea to say how much a business will you will need to start a certain business, where can you get stock cheaper, you know, those things.
Yes.
You need to at least have a basic, but don't research for too long.
Forever.
You know, so I always tell people, if you're doing something, within 3 months you should have
Strategy.
you know, some information, because you only know more once
When you
you're
do it,
inside.
that's true.
You know, so now once you're starting applying that knowledge, now you will see even more content that you've never realized. You know, don't research for too long.
That's true. That's true. you just reminded me of one business that I actually tried. I went into the microfinancing space. I literally didn't know anything when I got into that space. You know, I was just trying to get as much information when I just started. You know, and then along the way I realized that no, actually it's over-regulated. You know, and I believe that if I didn't start, I was not going to learn
know.
that. I was not going to know. So yeah,
Very,
you're just
very
going
true.
to learn everything as you move,
As you move.
you know. Yeah, that's true. And then why is it important for entrepreneurs to share their journeys with other entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs?
To me, it's more about giving back, because remember we always say we want to give back to our communities.
Yes.
You know, so for me as an entrepreneur, it's one element that with our businesses, because we are still small, we are still growing.
That's true.
Sometimes we don't have CSI projects that we can give shoes, buy food. So share your knowledge, you know, just like how the other elderly that have done with us.
Yes.
You know, they've shared their knowledge, they've shared their journey. That's how we are today. So if you are saying it's about Ubuntu, so for me, Ubuntu in entrepreneurship is through sharing that knowledge, because I've seen the power of sharing. How I got the funding of 1 million rand, I was attending an expo and I met this gentleman who was working for the National Empowerment Fund. And he started taking me through the application process, because what you read on the internet is not exactly how you understand it.
That's true.
That's why sometimes you are trying to apply, but you submit incomplete or incorrect content because you didn't know much.
Yes.
So that gentleman really took me through. I will email him with the challenges. He will advise me. When I applied for my funding, I had a garnish because of some creditors that I owed.
Yes.
But he took me through to say, go and settle that debt, get a letter, as much as the garnishing will be there for 5 years.
5 years.
But bring a letter to say you have settled. You know, they can give you that letter. Even if you didn't settle, you can pay a certain amount, maybe for 3 months, and then have honor that agreement with the creditors and bring us that letter. We'll process your application. And indeed, I managed to settle my debt. I got the letter, and my loan was approved. So those are the things that for me, it showed me that through information. He didn't give me money, but he just gave me information. So that's why we always say applied knowledge, because if I could have just sat with his information and did nothing, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm very passionate about sharing knowledge with others, because I've seen how it has transformed my life, and I want to also contribute and encourage others to say, let's share according to our spaces, to say this is my industry, let me share with other people.
It's true. I like the idea. I feel like I'll be very happy if all entrepreneurs can have this mindset that you have, or the belief that you have when it comes to this sharing of information. I know that you are passionate about sharing information to other entrepreneurs, like your mentorship program that you just started, But sometimes people, they have this tendency of thinking that when they share with other entrepreneurs, it's sort of going to take something out of their ideas or from their businesses, And it actually makes me remember one story. There was this lady, she got a job through some agency. And then when she was asked by her friend, how did you get the job? The girl was like, I forgot the name of the agency. I mean, how can you forget the name of the agency that got you a job? Like,
and you can even just say, I'll check and get back to you. If let's say genuinely you forgot.
So it just showed that this girl was not willing to share this information with someone else, And you also get this in business. Sometimes you ask someone how to do this, and then someone, you see that this person is not willing to share the information. So we're getting something from what she said, that we really need to share our entrepreneurship journeys with other entrepreneurs so that they don't make the same mistake as us, so that we can learn from other entrepreneurs as well.
And lighting another candle. Remember at Makaya, Mama Tota, to light a candle. You don't take another matches and light all of them. You take one candle and light others. It doesn't dim your light.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. But it makes now the house more brighter. So even you as an entrepreneur, surroundings, you need people who are more empowered, because remember, the minute where our country doesn't have people who can earn income, the crime is going to be high. It's going to affect your business.
It's really great. Yes, that's true. Okay, so what are the 5 things that someone who wants to be an entrepreneur or someone who wants to start a business should really think about or should really pay attention to? What are those 5 things?
For me, I would say look into a product or a business that you've got passion or love or interest. There must be something about you that takes you through that path. Don't look about the money. The money will come. Any business, guys, you are trading your service or a product for money. Any business, whether you are making 1 rand profit or 100 rand profit. So don't just say, I want a business with a lot of money. You're going to get money anyway. But now passion can now, even through difficult times, passion will keep you, going. So, because remember, waking up, you must go and work that business. You must work in that business. You must work around that business. And number 2, I will say discipline. Discipline it goes a long way. Because once you are not disciplined, nobody can come and help you to be disciplined.
That's true.
Running your own business, you've got your own terms. Other people say, I want to be my own boss. So be your own boss.
Yes.
Be disciplined. Boss characteristics, it says be disciplined.
Be disciplined.
It's one of the elements that needs to make you a better boss.
Yes.
And commitment. Guys, commitment doesn't want when you feel like it.
Yes.
When it's summer, when there's more money coming in, when you feel like, this is my season.
Yes.
Commitment don't care about whether it's hot, it's cold.
Whether it's cold.
You
Makes me
need to
remember
wake
what you posted yesterday.
Wake
That
up.
as cold as it was, but you're in the street selling.
Exactly, because
Yes.
remember, you are serving customers, so do what you
Yes.
love. So for me, even if it's cold, but because I love what I do,
Yes.
I'll go there,
Go there. Yes.
And number 4, I'll say, understand that you are running a business. So now you need to take care of your business, because
Yes.
once you don't take care of your business, it can't take care of you.
Yeah, it's not going to
So
take
now
care of
the
you.
finances of the business, care for them. The product of your business, care. So when you are raising a baby,
Yes.
umntwana akaweli phansi,
Yes.
you are always looking, that care for your business. And the last one, which for me is the number 1, guys, we need to pray for our businesses. Remember when we go for interviews, we pray
Yes.
that we get the job, and then you get the job, you pray again, you thank God for the job. I say let's pray,
Yes.
because we need the strength, even if we're from different religion, but invite the Almighty, invite what you believe in,
Yes.
so that things can just, you feel protected, you feel, with how you go for other jobs, interviews, and you are praying. So have the same element.
That's great. That's great. I like that. I like that. And it gives me a sense that you are grounded in Christ. I'm sure everything that you are achieving is His grace. Yes. It's great.
I don't think I'll be where I am if it was
If it
not.
wasn't for you. Yes. That's great.
I meet great people in business like yourself. I meet, I get calls, somebody says, I want you to link you up with somebody. So even opportunities are just opening for me, so which I don't think it was my doing, but it was through God's grace.
That's great. I like that. I like that. It's really important, guys, to pray for the business. It makes me remember of the one book that I read. It was saying that there's nothing difficult like being an entrepreneur. So you need to always pray, and you also need to understand that the things that you're going to have along the way, all those assets that you're going to acquire, it's not because of your might or your grace, but it's because of God's willing and grace and